Who am I and who are you? The ultimate questions for who we are as whole beings experiencing on this earth in this human journey. And to find the answers to these questions, we are going to be sitting down and exploring the minds for the wisdom and knowledge of the layers that make up our beings. From the mind, to the emotions, to the body, and to the astral with the light body. We will be exploring these different multi-dimensional aspects of who we are as the I Am presence in this world on earth, in the human experience. We'll get to have fun, cracking smiles, and diving deep into the knowledge with different psychics, intuitives, shamans, coaches, teachers, practitioners, and many more different beautiful conscious souls of the everyday life to gather the information we need in order to unravel these layers and become more aware and present in ourself as the whole I Am presence that we are. And I'm very grateful for this and really look forward to the journey. So thank you all for tapping in and being a part of this. And I am your host, Marcus, aka Crystalite, and I will be on this journey with you from the beginning to the end as we travel through the process of clearing layers.
You guys, I'm about to share something mind-blowing. So let's talk about the Akashic Records. It's like this cosmic library with everything that's ever happened, every thought, every experience. Wild, right? People seek these records for deep reasons: spiritual growth, life insights, big answers. It's not new age stuff, it's ancient wisdom. We're talking about tapping into the universe's knowledge here.
Welcome to Season 2 of the Process of Clearing Layers, a holistic, multi-dimensional, online TV series. Come dive deep into the Akashic Records and learn about timelines as we welcome our first guest of Season 2 out of California, a Akashic light language oracle, ancient wisdom keeper of the Dragon Sophia codes, Valerie Elster. out of California. Tune in and tap in.
So that inner gnosis.
That's right. Wild times we're in right now, but beautiful at the same time.
Yes.
So, with that being said, I thought it'd be really nice to make this episode about the Akashic Records and just kind of talking about, what the Akashic Records are, how to, consciously access them and utilize them, and not just utilize them, but utilize them for multidimensional healing purposes. And if you're open to it, we can kind of just explore a little bit about, your journey, your relationship with the Akashic Records, a little bit about maybe, what your journey was like leading up to the Akashic Records, and then also how it shifted your well-being and your health mentally, emotionally, and physically, accessing the Akashic Records. And of course, anybody else's experiences that you want to share. So yeah, what do you think about that?
It's a tall order. Tall order there, I do have language. So this might this might be the opener. Might be the opener to this discussion.
Feel free.
Yeah, let me see what that is. And I'll just preface with my ability to speak multiple languages is most of it is because of my access to the records, in the records. It shokusai shnanje chimbanje patutatande tukasambush nishnanje apatukande pa bort ikutanje vachambieta makotamba choman shikunza jamaniye la khatukusamba shashaba shambo shashambe de ko uka shashakatsa Dahudukufunja chukansa chanjama. Kiko andata kushtai sanja jamani. Ishukokaya makotaya. Yande kia no nahan. Dahudukusham shishova sanja jamani. Dhajuk shushtik zamesh. Shikisavasha haikatsavasha kaisata.
Namaste. Thank you so much for that. Wow. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, for everybody out there that's tuned in this present moment for this episode, that right there is how you open up the space. Wow. Thank you so much, Valerie. And what a way to break us open for this episode. And
Yeah,
without being said,
yeah, a lot of language wants to happen. So because so just a basic kind of background, I guess, overview, as many things happened, the records just kind of showed up. I had heard about them. I was deep into my Reiki journey. This was about 20 years ago. And was just reading the local paper. Well, it wasn't a paper. It was called Whole Lifetimes. It was the spiritual magazine of, I guess, West LA, South Bay, And there was a class for the Akashic Records. It was called Akashic Field Therapy, was the modality. And the woman lived in Kansas City, but the class was literally down the street from me. I could walk to where she was teaching the class. There were so many synchronicities for this class. And then I later found out she was coordinating with a dear friend of mine who was very active in the South Bay community. But everything about that day was not random at all. And I read this magazine front to back, and it was the only thing that really struck me. And so, if it pulls you, right? Something pulls you forward, and it was like a yes, just nothing, and not even a question. It was just a yes. And that day really changed my life because it was a remembrance. It was an opening to my access to the records, my role. And I just dove in. I mean, I was so excited about it because it felt like such a powerful way to consciously access someone's record. At that time, she was teaching practitioner training. It wasn't self. And so I was excited because I was already a Reiki master teacher. So for me, it integrated really nicely with what I was doing. It was just a slightly different, face-to-face discussion. So that was my entry into this, the Akashic again. But everything again was so familiar.
If your spirit's craving stillness and new adventures, you're in the right place. Lake Hope is calling. Will you answer? Announcing Ascending with Our Roots is moving to a new, upgraded retreat site right in the heart of Zaleski State Forest at Lake Hope, Ohio. Just 20 minutes from Hocking Hills, you'll camp beneath the trees, surrounded by tranquility and nature's beauty. We're offering the same powerful flow shops you love, plus new experiences. Explore the in-campground nature center, meet gentle reptiles, and soak up peaceful lake views. Your 2-day outdoor adventure includes plant-based picnic-style meals, elemental meditation hikes, cacao and shamanic opening, fire and flow arts, biofield attuning, yoga and hooping, all led by our dedicated facilitators. Tickets are just $55 for one day, or $99 for both. Spots fill up fast, so scan the QR code or visit lee.sten.to/sacredlightretreats to register. Questions? Text Marcus Christo at 513-238-5580. See you at Lake Hope.
So, the Akashic is a database. It's a Akasha, right? It means ether. So you're just accessing the records of humanity, of you individually, of the collective. So everything has a record. It's an information database. It contains everything. How does the universe know how to be a universe? There's a template of sorts. So her name is CJ, her theories were very much based on Dr. Irvin Laszlo. He wrote Akashic, Science in the Akashic Field, because the Akashic is a quantum database. And so he wrote all about it, and so she based this method on his theories. And
the Akashic field is our experience of the universe. This is an interconnected universe, which we can only explain as being based on a universal field, which we can nowadays call the quantum field or the 0-point field. It's a universe where all things are connected. It's a universe where all things are remembered, because nothing completely disappears. Everything remains that ever happened is still there. And everything evolves. Either goes down and starts again from a lower level, which can also happen with extinctions of species, which supernovae of stars happens, or it continues to evolve. continues increases at higher and higher levels. So that's a field where everything that ever happened works together, whether we know it or not. It's our advantage, our interest to recognize that this is an Akashic universe, experienced by us as an interconnected universal Akashic field.
It's a natural relationship for us. Our ancestors worked with the records. They worked with the ancestors. They worked with, the planet and the stars and what have you. So the ability to access our own record was very much a part of who we are as a soul. It's just that as we moved out of the more organic into the more inorganic, I would say that would be religion, because then we had to go through somebody rather than accessing directly. And the Akashic works with the subconscious. It's very much linked to that. So when you're looking at your records, it has everything in there. Your reactions, your traumas, et cetera, et cetera. So so when I speak, I translate. And just because I've been working with the records for so long, I've been able to translate and remember. A lot of it is a remembering. The language I speak is a remembering. There's no formal training. It's just started to come in, and then just the years of being able to access, and then starting to translate. So I say I'm a translator of space and time.
Mm-hmm.
But also interesting, many years ago, I received a message that I was also one of the record holders or keepers, whatever they're called, from Atlantis. So it's interesting that you talked about Greece, Atlantis. Greece is very Atlantis to me. So that made a lot of sense because of my connection with Atlantis, with Egypt. They're very much connected. So that resonated a lot. And I mostly access, of course, I access my own, looking for anything my soul was carrying, trauma. So I was able to resolve a lot of things doing that for myself, but also collectively. I, at some point, did collective record pulls, looking for what's happening with, humanity. Right, with the species, the human species. So I did a lot of collective work as well. Does that make sense?
Thank you.
It's more language.
That was a wonderful, that was a wonderful expression.
Oh, good. So, and as far as
Thank
where they're located, you must.
So, with that being said,
yeah.
Oh, there we go. It glitched out.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, I just wanted to take a moment to kind of introduce everybody to where you guys have just tuned in, and that is on a fresh episode of season 2 of the Process of Clearing Layers. And I'm your host, Marcus Crystallite. And a little bit about this series that you're tuned into right now, the Process of Clearing Layers, is that each and every Sunday there's full episodes streaming on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. And during this series, we will have the opportunity each Sunday to sit with different practitioners, coaches, shamans, intuitive psychics, teachers, students, and everyday souls. Through some of these guests and myself, you will get the treat of exploring the knowledge and the wisdom stored in our great minds. for more clearing and understanding of our mental, emotional, physical, and light bodies and how they operate in the mechanics, along with strategies and practices that we can access to take care of our being in everyday living. Other guests will help expand our awareness on what the restoring process can look like for us from a micro to a macro level within the layers of our being as we learn their story and call to passion. So this is a good time to have fun, drop into our hearts together while we learn about who we are. If you feel the call within to be on an episode, to talk about psychology, biology, holistic quantum healing, environmental effects on our being, addiction, metaphysics, meditation, yoga, nutrition, brain rewiring, life coaching, and so much more, there is plenty of space and time for you to join in and support the cause of spreading knowledge and guidance for awareness of who we are as a whole being. Opening doors of self-empowerment and harmony authentically and collectively. How can you support the intention as a viewer? You guys can donate heart-based donations, and they get split between myself and the guest. You guys can also follow and share on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Instagram, Sacred Light 33, Facebook, Crystal Light Robbins, and YouTube, Sacred Light Healing and Wellness. And thank you to all of you guys that do subscribe, follow, and share. And then, of course, ask questions, comment, and feel open to diving deeper into the knowledge or even sharing anything to add as well. So with that being said, welcome everybody to this episode of The Process of Clearing Layers. And our wonderful, divine, and sacred guest is a wonderful Lyran sister. And she kind of spoke a little bit about herself, but for all of you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys a more deeper awareness of who this wonderful sister is that we are tuning in with.
Oh no.
So Valerie Elster is a RMT. She is also a Akashic field therapist. She is also a gem and flower essence practitioner. She is a matrix energetic worker and a galactic shaman. She is located just out of Los Angeles. She's a wisdom keeper, oracle, world bridger, and divine feminine source of light, facilitating multidimensional healing sessions, conscious workshops, sacred travels, and ceremonies since 2004. She utilizes her diverse background and training as a Reiki master teacher, Akashic field therapist, worldwide trainer, matrix energetics, as well as the flower and gem eccentrics. So after having a successful career in entertainment and the internet industry, she was financially abundant enough but lacked true inner fulfillment. So she set out on her path of inner discovery. 2012 was a pivotal year that launched her on an epic journey of deep soul remembrance and reconnection with anchoring the Gaia grids. That being said, thank you so much for joining us, Val. And I know you shared a little bit about, the Akashic Records and your connection with them. And I'd just like to ask you, everybody out there, is how do you kind of start tuning into the Akashic Records, or how do you kind of for all these people out here that may not be aware of if they are accessing it or not, what are kind of some of the signs to know that you are mentally accessing the Akashic Records?
Well, thank you for that intro. It's great to be here. Well, I was going to say, the Akashic, so if you're looking at dimensional realities, right, you've got the 3D physical, the 4D is the emotional. That's where the Akashic has been stored because it's a subconscious, right, interacts with the subconscious. So it's that bridge between that, what people call 5D, fifth dimension, which is heart-based, And so a lot of times people, might be aware of patterns that they're running, right? And this is where, one is able to go within, which is where a lot of these modalities have helped. Meditation is a great opening. Everybody should do it on the planet, because you're able to silence the 3D mind. You're able to tune into, those higher dimensional aspects of yourself. And it's part of the intuition. Again, as I mentioned earlier, our ancestors, this is how they worked. This is what they did. They had a relationship with themselves because they were connected to the planet. They were connected to the stars. They were listening. So it's a lot of listening. And, some people, you may know Edgar Casey. He's kind of the grandfather of the Akashic Records and all the thousands of readings he did. Well, they called him the sleeping prophet. So he would get all the information while he was sleeping. And a lot of people do. This is a more practical method, the Akashic field therapy, because it allows you to access it without, a lot of special skills. And, it was designed that way. It's designed to be an easier way. But, for me, it is just being in that present moment and listening and understanding that there's more than the physical body, of course, right? So, yeah, that's one way, is to be in touch, to understand who you are. Also to ask. You can ask for access to your Akashic record. It's very simple. You can ask to update something if you're aware of it. A lot of times there might be a lack of awareness of what's actually happening, what's stored in the record. But the more sensitive you become, the more intuitive you become, it's easier to understand and have an idea. Well, I want to update that, right? I know I have this because this is my reaction. And so one of the ways is to see what are your reactions. Are you able to move through life, or are you stuck in, looping, right? Loop is one of the main patterns that I see, because it means that the answer hasn't been clear. Once you recognize something, then it's easier to make a change in how you react, how you respond. So this is conscious, subconscious, and the subconscious is what interacts with your record. It has all of the information in it. So people that are intuitive, people that are psychic, whatever you call it, they're accessing your record. It is a storage of information. However, it also contains your future potentials. And this is important because the future potentials are also in there. Potentially, you're not able to see them or feel them or experience them because of whatever is stuck, whatever is holding you back. And those can be a range of patterns. A trauma just means something happened, right? And you judged it as good or bad.
Oh, wait a second.
Oh.
There we go. Can you just repeat that last part again?
Yeah. Okay, now I have language. Thai shishava shoputsan jashahan sakian de tatadon amanahan tasava shashai shakasaban shishokan zajamani kotatai amano haldai shania patakutoan ya lahatukusai shanai shapatai ha bahotekian takosen jajamani Bai kutakai tata yanahal lahatukoa alam pana koka shashai ishani dea kutakande takanda takopete mahato ayama.
Thank you.
I was saying that it's, the Akashic is language of the heart. It's that the mind has gotten too far involved in the language of the heart. So it's pure information. What I was saying was emotionally, okay? When there's something that happens and you're triggered, that's giving you an idea that something is potentially stored. As a trauma means something happened, right? You judged it as good or bad because we're in a duality, we have been. And then you have to develop a fear and a belief. Those three patterns sit together, right? So trauma, a fear comes up, something happened, good or bad, usually bad, then a fear, and then a belief. Okay, that's bad, right? I'm not gonna X, Y, and Z. So it's a program of sorts. And the loop means that you can't see and you're not able to get out of it. And so if you have too many of those, you can imagine a lot of people, they can't function. They're not able to function here. They can't move forward. They keep repeating patterns over and over again. So there's a number of ways to kind of tell that something's not in alignment. Just ask. Simple. Look and see what's most important for me to look at. What am I running, or what's in the way? And just, your meditation's great because you're in non-linear now. You're accessing outside of the physical 3D.
Yeah. So there's a couple of key points in there that I kind of want to explore a little bit with you. And
Okay.
The first one that comes to mind is the key point that you can access future as well, but the future is probabilities. Now, for everybody out there, what does that exactly mean, that the future timelines that you access are probabilities?
Okay, so the future potentials are also in your record, right? Just like I can see where someone's going, but we have free will. So if there's a train track, and the train decides to go this way, well, there's potential other outcomes, right? It's the same with the human. You make a different choice. I call them choice points, and you get a new set of variables. Now, they could lead you to the same place eventually, but you might, take a year to get there. People that read future are only looking at potentials, right? Because you can give somebody an idea, but it's up to them. It's up to them. So that's what when I'm looking at a record, I'm seeing what's happened, and I could see potentials, but I don't do the future readings because it's kind of moot in my mind.
Attention veterans, your next mission: healing and community in beautiful Loveland, Ohio. Imagine a place where nature's serenity meets powerful ancient healing practices. Welcome to the first ever Holistic Healing for Veterans Retreat, happening July 12th and 13th in Loveland, Ohio. This is not just any retreat. Hosted by Marcus Christolite of Sacred Light and co-hosted by former Marine Sergeant AJ Lardy, this 2-day outdoor camping experience is designed just for you. Alongside fellow Sacred Community members Heather Lynn of Heart Alchemy Wellness, Lauren aka Peach, Katie Singing Eagle, and Niara, you'll dive deep into holistic shamanic level flow shops. Picture this: sound healing that calms your mind, shadow work that uncovers your true self, and subconscious reprogramming to help you rewire the brain from PTSD and trauma. All set in a beautiful, secluded, natural setting with a magical riverside. And it doesn't stop there. We'll provide clean, vibrant meals for all diets, ensuring you nourish your body as well as your spirit. Let's grow together as a community, bringing empowering healing to ourselves and our loved ones. Tickets are incredibly affordable. Just $33 for 1 day or $77 for the full 2 days. But remember, you must register first. Scan the QR code on the flyer or visit the site next to the code. Got questions? DM Marcus Christolite directly at 513-238-5580. This is your chance to find peace, connect with fellow veterans, and embark on a journey of profound healing. One love.
Because you're creating your reality as you go. Potentials just mean there's a variety of things that you could call in. That's what the future potentials are about. Now, when I, or you, right, move something out of the way, update your record, resolve the traumas, well, then that opens the door for those future potentials to show up. And I'll talk about timelines, because you could see that each track is a timeline. And that's also something that I do, is as I manage timelines, Atlantis being one of them. So timelines are just, I've talked about timelines before, groups of information, groups of people, groups of situations that all run simultaneously. And many of us are here from other timelines. We've been here before. And we're here because it is an important time in this planet's life cycle and also human life cycle. As we all.
Yes. Thank you for explaining that. Thank you for explaining that, because yeah, in this life that we're in, we have free will. So
yes.
That means that there is no one finite outcome. There's no one finite timeline out there for us. It's that, like you were saying, there could be like choice points that we may have set up in our soul
yes.
contracts, but the way that we weave in between those choice points to get to them is a free will experience of different degrees of basically polarity, so to say, that we go through in order to deal with karma and dharma, things of that nature that are with free will. And there's a lot of things out there. I'm not going to get too deep into this, but draconian like programming that tries to make us believe as human beings that everything is just finite. There's only one dimension to life. We're only this physical human body, and we have this one path, and that's it. And then we go to heaven or hell. That's a very limited based programming that has been put upon our psyches. And now a lot of us are breaking out of that programming and becoming aware that there's a whole lot more out there to this life that we're in. And this is just really good stuff. My next question for you is kind of diving into more of the healing side of things when it comes to the Akashic Records.
Yeah.
And that is, soul retrieval and past life regressions. I know you said you don't really go too much into the future, which means you do access a lot of people's past, right?
Yes.
So what does that kind of look like for yourself and some of the others that you've experienced it with when it comes to past life regression or anything else regarding past timeline experiences?
It's a good question, because a lot of people want to know who they were, and there's a story there, right? And I used to tell them the story. I stopped doing it at some point, only because there's a fixation. Humans seem to have a fixation with the past and the future. Oh, yeah. Okay, so what's more important is what's in there now. What's in there? What's stored? What are the patterns? What are the traumas? What are the pieces that are keeping you stuck? So that's where I focus. I can see based on, the soul is eternal. So again, it's the timeline, but it doesn't matter as much as everything is happening now, past, present, and future. Oh, it's like we lost Marcus.
I'm still here. Go ahead.
Oh, I just lost your face.
I put you on the full screen.
Oh, okay, awesome. Hi. So So it's important because it's easy to get lost in the story. And that's what I saw that was happening, by going in the past. But as eternal beings, as eternal souls, we exist. There's no death and rebirth. There's no death is what I meant. It's just a continual process. You just exit one and move into another realm. So it's really about why you're here now in this body, in this time, what you're here to do, and what potentially is preventing you from doing that, from living, from being. I'm just nosy. I like to know everything. So I like to dig. Someone called me a quantum architect, which is kind of what I do. Not as much now, but I did a lot of that because I'm looking at, okay, so what's my piece? And because I had those remembrances and access, and I had to do a lot of work on myself. I mean, it wasn't just walk in and get started. I mean, there's a lot, and I had to go through a lot of dark nights and a lot of, oh, hey, I can't do this time, right? The group can't do this anymore. We're not here for that. We're here for this. So there was a lot of trauma in not only my own record, but in the groups that I, connected with, the timelines. Of course, there's so much trauma in the last couple thousand years, especially. So a lot of that had to be updated, cleared. It's not the right word. There's no really clearing, but it's an update. It's a healing. It's a resolution. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the timelines, there's been a lot of resolution of the timelines. Because many of us are here and we were able to go in and heal and update and whatever our part was and do something different, right? Make a different choice. So it's making a different choice. It's choices. It's really just choices that steer. And individually, we've been making different choices. Now collectively, we have to make different choices, right? We're making different choices. In some ways, we're kind of being steered, but there's been so much inversions in the templates here, and also there's been a lot of control and what's the word? Information being hidden, right? So there's been a lot of deceiving here, and that's what's being layered. It can't exist anymore because we have been able to hold a frequency. And she, Gaia herself, has been able to hold a frequency. So it really is about frequency. What is the resonant frequency of us individually and us collectively, and the planetary frequency? So all of those things have been working in unison to get to a place of full disclosure, because we can't, as we said in the beginning, really come into the full light of who we are and who we be without the disclosure, because conscious understanding is most of it. It's most of healing. Once you understand what's happened, you're able to release it and move forward. And that's the subconscious, conscious Akashic record. That's the relationship. So it is an exciting time because it finally, on a collective, larger level, feels like, right, that a lot of things are going to be revealed. And that's the conflict resolution piece that's so needed. So it's exciting.
Yes, definitely is exciting times. And I've been feeling nothing but joy and inner celebration.
Yeah.
And I know it's not the same for everybody out there right now, and I just hold love and hold that joy within myself for everybody else as well that maybe just struggling to access that in this moment. Yeah. And I just, I trust that things are going to become very clear here soon on this planet. And I'm very grateful for where we are, as, we've gone through all of humanity here on this earth to get here.
We've come a long way.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, the ones that aren't happy or don't understand what's happening because they're polarized, right? If you can polarize a group, that's what they've done. That's what there's right. So that when someone's polarized, it tells me they still have conflict. There's inner conflict, because it's easy to project out and put your energy out, right, at something or someone or group. That's such an old trick, but that's the emotional manipulation that's happened on this planet for a long time. So you see why the Akashic is so important.
Yeah.
Because it was holding so much of this emotional stuff, debris, whatever you want to call it. Because that's where humanity that's the trigger, the emotions. So until we as a group can have that emotional intelligence, right? So you can handle what comes up. You've got the tools. This is where so many have gone. It's not about getting triggered. It's how you recover. What happens next? What's your choice next, right? What was running in your subconscious? Because that's really what it's about. And that's the mastery. That's a mastery level. And there's so many that are there, and that's amazing. But it's very easy to see someone who is not there because they're triggered. And it's usually something that, again, it's outside of them. We all know. You just put one group against another. This is just old duality stuff. But we're here to transcend duality. We're here to move into in more of the solidarity, unification of the species. A lot had to be done to get to this point.
Yep. Absolutely, that's for sure.
Blue tiger's eye, Super 7 crystals, throat chakra, singing bowl, raw rising codes, Greek Olympians, Zeus, calling in the chief of the Olympians, God of the sky, lightning and thunder, rain, the storms of light into my life to clear, restore balance and order to my mind, body, spirit complex. I am allowing your lightning and thunder and justice of truth to be at play with my faith within my being. I am trusting in my innate connection to the Eternal Father, as the Father is in me, and I am in the Father. I am holding integrity, values, and healthy boundaries as I continue to serve for the highest good of all. I am in alignment with Zeus.
So, with with all this being said, how familiar are you with, like crucifixion implants and false timeline inversions?
Right.
Holographic implants?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything surrounding that you have to share?
I would say that happened in the timelines. Atlantis was probably the biggest piece. Very much manipulated that time. The timeline's been manipulated. And a lot of people have the memories of Atlantis. It's the water, right? The drowning, the flooding.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of those memories, and that's also, it's allowing people to release that, because there's a lot of trauma in the species itself. That's the remembrance. But again, frequency, you think about what creates, right, the lower frequency timeline. It's a lower frequency. It's a disconnection from source. So those implants, were there, I wouldn't say on purpose, but they definitely were there as part of a more inverted timeline, inverted plan, right? Because if you can keep a group or groups at odds with each other and also in fear for their life, physical harm, that was a trauma that I found for the species, the human species, right? Because it's that fear, it's the force, and it's kind of part of the slavery concept, planetary wise.
Yeah.
So there's many layers, but also, if we're operating on inverted timelines, it's very difficult to move the needle forward. And so a lot of that had to be resolved.
Yeah, because as they say, it's harder to like really realize or work with something when you're in it than when you're observing it or stepped out of it. So with that being said, you wonder why so many in our mass population is struggling right now. It's because they're literally in the frequency and they're almost like energetically frozen in a way. Now, of course, not literally frozen, but like their vibration is so dense and stagnant at this point that it's like super difficult for them to even get that consciousness churning, as in like get that higher light flowing through them. All these distortions in their chakras and blockages and traumas and all these different things, it really clouds up, tenses up our energy field. So then that starts blocking off our connection and streamline with that higher light source.
And you weren't wrong when you said frozen, because that's what happens, fight or flight.
Yeah.
And there's many people in that fight or flight, right? And that's what trauma does, freeze. It truncates. This is somatic. So on the physical level, it's a truncation or a freeze. And can't move forward. It's on a physical level.
Yeah.
So it is like a freeze. And I've seen trauma I really looked at, and what happens, it's literally like frozen. It's stuck. And there's a trauma, and then there's like patterns that got developed as a result of the trauma. And it is like a stuck piece in the brain, because it can't resolve, right? It's like a program.
Yeah.
The program loops a bunch of times. What happens? It shuts down, or it shorts out.
Yeah.
Similar.
And then that gets stored into your emotional body.
Yes, there you go.
Gets stored into your cellular memory, and then it gets stored into your neurological system and all these different layers of yourself, until it then manifests into what we call dis-ease.
Dis-ease, yeah, exactly.
Cancer and ailments.
Yeah.
And what's for everybody out there that could be really struggling with this, looking for resources to move out of it, what's some of your favorite modalities, or what's some of your favorite ways that you personally serve for folks to be able to free up?
God, there's so many. I've told people everything's online now. Like, there's meditations.
Heck yeah.
Everything. It's just believing, understanding that you're a powerful being. There's nothing wrong with you. You're just born into trauma on the planet, and then whatever else happened in your life, and how you resolved it or how you didn't resolve it. So there's just so many. My advice is just whatever tool works for you. I do a lot of quiet time. I lay on a biomat. It just, whatever comes up. For me, it's been more on the physical side. Because it still has to move through the body. We're in a physical body. So that's where a lot of people, it's aligning the trauma with the body. So a lot of cleansing and I just do whatever it's guided. You know, I might do microdose. I make my own mushroom microdose. It's just whatever I need. I just tune in. I have a lot of different supplements, you know.
Yeah.
I take gold, colloidal gold. So I just see where I'm at. I tune into that. And then wherever I'm guided.
Yes, I agree. You know, for me, there is so many modalities that we can access now, especially with this, you know, Aquarian age technology that we're swiftly moving through now.
Yeah, quantum. Everything's quantum now.
For me, you know, some of my favorite modalities has been chakra balance meditations.
Yeah.
And building consistency with that, you know, building routines around these things and getting consistent, because, you know, we're in an everyday living moment. So, you know, we're always fluctuating. We're always absorbing energy, rejecting energy, which means our chakras are moving around. Our energy field's changing. And for me, it's like, the more that we can create our own stability through our routines and consistency, then we're able to really anchor in those roots and start becoming more stable and build a foundation off of that. So for me, like, you know, chakra balancing, yoga, detoxing.
Yeah, nutrition, everything. It's all connected. Environment, what are you listening to? What's your energy? What's the space you live in? The people you're around. I mean, everything's frequency. So, you know, it's what is your consistent operating frequency? And that is all of the things we just mentioned. So if it's too much on the down, on the lower vibration, it's a lot harder to maintain a higher frequency. You will be tired. Tired also is a great way to understand something's not, you know, got to rest, or you're being dragged down by something or someone or your past or the trauma. So it's really understanding who you are in your body and how you feel. And tools, just have a bunch of tools. You know, there's just, again, there's so much out there.
That's right.
So much.
And that even includes, you know, the things that, you know, myself and that you offer as well. You guys can always reach out to either one of us and, you know, schedule sessions, ask questions, deep dive into these things. We both are very multiversed, and yeah, there's so much out there, and just, you know, use your community. Reach out to your practitioners that you know. You know, it's one thing to just know them and just like talk to them about life and stuff, but you know, it's another thing to like open that door of like, yeah, you guys have all these healing gifts, so why not experiment? Why not experience? Why not see?
Try a bunch of things, see what
works. See what works best for you, and like try to have fun with it, knowing that there's no right or wrong, and that's just about the experience and what really resonates for you.
Yeah. Well said.
Yeah. Wow. So my next question is, for those that are kind of new to their gift of, you know, accessing the Akasha, and maybe are looking for ways to consciously kind of anchor it in more consciously be able to navigate it intentionally, are there any strategies or ways that you found very helpful with just enhancing and becoming more in tune with it?
Just be honest, you know, with who you are and what's happening. There's some great Akashic meditations. It is, again, everything is out there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just you. It's you accessing you.
Yeah.
So you can have a framework, or just it's your higher self. I mean, we're avatars. We're in these bodies as avatars. So it's meditating into those higher realms. That's how you access. I mean, again, there's everything, sacred geometry. I mean,
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, we're moving into not needing practitioners. You know, we're all masters. There's all of the remembrances are coming online.
Yeah.
You know, that's what the golden age is. It's access to everything without any blocks. Right?
Yeah.
So it's just, that's the gnosis here. The inner standing.
The inner standing.
Yeah.
That's right. Such a fascinating life that we're in.
Yeah, it's great. It's been a long journey, though. It's been hardcore, I have to say. I'm ready for the golden age piece.
Yeah.
Right. The what should be happening here. So, and that's why many of us are here, to usher that in.
Mm-hmm. I gotta say too, like, one of my favorite things about being able to access the Akashic Records consciously for myself has been also like consciously, you know, going into past life incarnations and not just like, you know, experiencing or examining it, but drawing in, you know, the positive traits and the positive codes within my DNA that is stored from those times. As in, like, you know, accessing the skills of being a pharaoh and the leadership ability and the way of organizing and delegating, or, you know, accessing my Navajo shamanic lifetime to be able to just naturally open up and tap into my shamanic roots outside of this lifetime. It's really cool because, like, our DNA contains the memory of, you know, what's in our lineage of, you know, the different memories stored within us. And when we can tap in and activate those dormant DNA codes, then we start basically uploading or downloading and activating different traits from these lifetimes, and then we bring it into this present, and then we basically integrate those traits into this current world. So I found that pretty fascinating as well.
Right. And so you're speaking of the archetypal, right? It's less about the individual journey of what I was here and there. It's the archetypal journey. That's what the Akashic Records are. It's the archetypes. It's going in and accessing all the different archetypes. And yes, it's bringing forth whatever wants to come in. And I would say that, you know, early on. All right, subconscious, we know everything. So whatever I need right now for this next phase of my journey, you know, you're directing it. You're the director of your movie.
Yeah.
It's just having an understanding and not getting stuck in the victim cycle, because that's where people loop. They loop in, right? Because they can't go inward. It's easier to go outward for many. So it's just, that's us being honest with what's happening and who you are and where you're getting stuck and asking for help. Because that's the collective journey. And a lot of people, you know, they're not able to get there because of conditioning, programming, etc.
Yeah. So here's a good question. What is one way that, and I'm not sure if this even really maybe matters for you, but what is a way for you to be able to discern between, your own individual record and the collective record?
It's a good question. Again, the archetypes, if you're having, it's your emotional band. It's the fourth dimensional emotional field. Where are you at? Where is that at? Right? So the compass is the internal compass. Emotional means something's happening and I'm getting triggered and I can recognize it. Then what am I doing? Right? Many individual, also what's happening collectively. So when we update or resolve individually, it also updates the collective. That's why there's been such an expansion over the last 15, 20 or so years, because it's just returning to what we already know. It's returning to our natural relationship with the Akashic, with ourselves, right? With the ancestral pieces, because people moved away from those into the institutions of, oh, we have no power, we're just little helpless humans, we need you, right? So it's breaking out of those, right? That's all it's about. It's just a codependent relationship, because we can't do it ourselves, so we need other people to do it for us. And that's the general conversation. So again, it's developing the intuition to understand, is it for me? Is it for them? Who's it for? It's really just a sensitivity practice.
Yeah. Great answer. And part of, how you guys can help with that is, the cleansing and detoxing process. The more that you guys, strip out.
Yeah.
The more you guys strip out that fog in your mind, and you get rid of those stagnant emotions, and you treat those physical ailments, those things are going to restore your clarity and your wholeness of your being. And then that will give you a natural stream and connection to your intuitive nature. A lot of times we kind of just automatically go outside of trying to become something, or that we have to do something very aggressive outside of ourselves in order to obtain that state of being. But what I've been really tapping into more and explaining to people is, it's not really always about becoming something. It's also about just stripping away the things that are blocking you from just being in the streamline connection that's already automatically there. And so just for fun, I want to ask you, do you have a conscious relation, or do you ever kind of find yourself tapping into the the great halls of the weighing, or do you connect with Thoth that much?
I don't. No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just curious if you had any type of conscious experiences of being in the halls of the weighing, and the transitioning of the different karmic souls and all that type of stuff.
I have memories. I've had memories in Egypt and what have you. There again was a lot of inversions, unfortunately, and hijacks. So some of that information was twisted. So there has been a lot of restoration of, again, those original templates. So it's many layers. It's hard to go into in this moment. But again, how does it feel? Right? What does it feel like? Does it feel real? The more sensitive you are, it's easier to discern what is not. But again, many of those pieces have been put back in place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anything that's going to disempower somebody, right?
Yep.
And we're moving out of relying on outside information, outside sources. It's all inside. What feels right, what's coming through you,
Mm-hmm. So my last question for you is, where does grid work align with all of this, and how can people do grid work?
Grid work is very much a calling. It's you'll get guided where you need to go. I did a lot of work in the alternate realms, in the Akashic, in the quantum realms, in the other dimensions. But the calling to physically go and ground or integrate. So sometimes you'll be called to the same place because you have new coding or there's something else to do. But we also have grids that are ours, they're in our domain. And you're going to resolve something or bring something. So I say we unfold who we are and the codes that we're holding, where we physically go. Usually I'll get called when I'm doing both earth work, grid work on the physical grid or the inner earth, and the galactic piece, because I have all of the orientations. So again, inner knowing, where you pulled, and moving out of the mind, because this is all heart and feel. It's not, oh, I can't go there, can't afford it. So it's silencing all of that, right? That goes against the innate knowing of who you are and where you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because you can basically describe that as like the etheric fourth dimension, right? The planetary grid.
Yes.
And it basically kind of like goes through and overlays the physical world as basically like a matrix or blueprint coding, so to say.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So then, like when we go to specific grid points of that etheric grid, then
right.
we energetically rearrange the energy of the vortexes right there.
Or you're
right?
holding a point, right? And you've got the galactic grid and you've got inner earth grid.
Yeah.
So whatever your part is, that's why everybody goes to a certain part altogether. They guided to go there. So I've said this, when things shift, people start moving. So where everybody is at is important. It's why the listening is so important. Because if you try to use your mind to figure it out, it won't. That's not where you figure things out. It's the higher knowing. And, this is where the remembrance and the clarity are so important. Like you said, to keep clear. Right?
Yeah.
Or, journey. Take a medicine journey. Something to move you out of the mind. That's everything.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Good job. Well, with that being said, I think this will be a good place to leave off for this wonderful episode on
Beautiful.
the Akashic Records.
Thank you so much. This was fun. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, thank you, Valerie, and thank you so much for joining us. For everybody out there, this was our wonderful sacred guest of this episode of the Process of Clearing Layers, Season 2, Valerie out of California.
Currently in California.
And for everybody out there, where can they tap in, connect, book services?
Yeah, Facebook or Instagram. I do updates. I do kind of planetary updates. Probably the best place to follow me.
Okay. Do you have a website or anything?
I do, but I don't really use it, I'm not super active on the site. Probably socials are the easiest. See what I'm doing.
All right.
Okay. Oh, you froze there. All right. Well, thank you.
Sounds good. Well, I will make sure to go. Yeah. I'll make sure to put down below in the description for everybody where they can contact you and link up. And
awesome.
For everybody out there, that does it. Thank you guys for tuning in. Please comment and share and give any feedback if you want to add to this or ask questions. Reach out to either one of us and we'll be a wonderful guide for you. Awesome. Valerie, thank you so much again for joining us.
Okay, blessings.
Have a blessed and beautiful night.
You too.
Wholeness and balanced love, everybody.
Yeah, blessings. Bye, everybody.
Wow. What a beautiful way to kick off Season 2 of the process of clearing layers. Episode 1, Akashic Timelines, with Valerie Elster, the Light Language Akashic Oracle out of California, our Sophia Dragon Code sister. Please subscribe, like, share, keep up the support, and be a part of the movement of the process of clearing layers, the series where we dive into our multidimensional human layers and explore what it looks like to holistically heal and balance mind, body, spirit, and emotion. Reach out if you have questions. We still have space for more guests. And tune in for our next fresh episode, Sunday, June 29th, 8 p.m. Eastern, as we explore Daimon Organite. Wholeness and balanced love.
And that uniqueness is really what stood out to me to want to have you on.
Yes, I feel like the